Okay, once again, in problem number 5, we're given an equation to solve. And just like other times, there's different ways we can proceed. Now, one thing that we should consider doing in this problem is combining the fractions on the left side of the equation to make a single fraction. Then we'll have a proportion, and we can continue from there. So it's a good idea for us to start just by writing this original problem with the denominator in factored form. So let's call this 3 over the quantity x times x minus 3, and then plus 4 over x. Say this is equal to 1 over the quantity x minus 3. Now, to get a common denominator on the left side, we need to notice a couple of things. You notice that there's an x in the denominator of each fraction on the left side. This is good. But what we have in one fraction is a factor of x minus 3 that's not in the other fraction. So we're going to get an x minus 3 in the denominator of the second fraction by multiplying by x minus 3 over x minus 3. Remember, anything divided by itself is 1. And multiplying by 1 won't change the value of our fraction. We're just going to make it look different. So this will give us 3 over the quantity x times the quantity x minus 3 plus, because we have to be careful, and remember that when you multiply, this is 4 times the quantity x minus 3. We need to remember the parentheses over x times the quantity x minus 3. It's going to equal 1 over x minus 3. You know what might help? Here's a little trick. It won't involve proportions, but I think it's worth exploring because there's more than one way to look at these problems. Let's get a common denominator for all 3 fractions. We need to multiply the right side over here by x over x. Now, there's going to be a factor of x and a factor of x minus 3. This will change our denominator on the right side. And let me fix it for us. See, we'll have 1 times x in the numerator, and we'll have the quantity x minus 3 times x in the denominator. Okay, now we're in business. We're going to do 2 things on the left side. First, we're going to add these fractions together and get a single fraction. X times the quantity x minus 3. And we're also going to distribute this 4. So we're going to have 3 plus 4x minus 12. And on the right side, we'll have x to the quantity x minus 3 times x. Okay. Now, if you notice that the fraction on the left side has the same denominator as the fraction on the right side. Okay? Then that means if this statement is true, if the left side is equal to the right side, then that must mean that the numerators are going to be equal to each other. If the numerators are equal to each other, we can just isolate that part of this problem and say that 3 plus 4x minus 12 equals x. Well, now let's combine like terms. 3 minus 12 makes negative 9. Negative 9 plus 4x equals x. And now we'll solve. We'll subtract 4x from both sides. Negative 9 equals negative 3x. And we'll divide each side by negative 3. And we'll get 3 equals x. Now, this is a different approach. Maybe you didn't like this approach. Maybe you found it confusing. That's okay. That's not a problem. If you found this approach confusing, back here when we had one fraction equal to another fraction, we could have used cross products and solved by using a proportion. You always have to remember to check your answers. All right, well, thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you found it helpful. Again, if you have questions, bring them to class, and we'll address all your questions when we're in class together next time.